Back in the classroom, Dell students fight to catch up following a 3-week teaching strike.
We had to teach ourselves certain things, like I learned a lot of stuff from Google, I'm not gonna lie.
It's tea time. A Halifax tea bar is satisfying local taste buds with unique tastings.
And when I'm speaking of tea, that's not in the same ballpark, it's actually not even the same plant.
And how Halifax's best new band balances their songs with their studies.
There were times when I shouldn't have said I could go to band practice because I had an exam or something, but I did it anyway.
This is the video signal.
Dalhousie part-time instructors and teaching assistants are back in class after a 3-week strike brought classes to a halt.
Students say they are not receiving the support needed to get their studies back on track in certain programs. The Signal's David Schumann reports.
Adam Murphy is in his final year of computer science. He had multiple classes halted due to the strike at Dalhousie. Murphy says he's struggling to keep up.
And there was almost feel like there was little to zero planning kind of made for how exactly classes would resume once the strike ended.
He says he supports a recent change to extend the course withdrawal date.
You know, it's unfair for students to have a permanent record on their grades showing you did bad in this course when it might not even necessarily be their fault.
Murphy says Dalhousie needs to do more. He is not alone.
Because we paid a lot of our tuition and a big part of our grades is the labs.
But I get why they did the strike and they had to, right? But I don't know.
We had to teach ourselves certain things, like I learned a lot of stuff from Google, I'm not gonna lie.
Aparna Mohan is the president of the Dalhousie Student Union. Her group polled students to find out how the strike impacted them.
I'm hearing that students are overwhelmed, and students generally in programs where there's a significant practical component have been feeling like they've missed out on a huge chunk of their education and of essential learning outcomes.
Mohan says the student union started a petition calling for a tuition refund and academic support. Mohan says compensation would be the biggest help.
It seems like, the simplest, easiest way to compensate a lot of students is financially and through some sort of rebate.
CUPE official Jean-Philippe Bourgeois says if students aren't getting what they asked for, they should take it up with the university.
We, at least for me, didn't feel like students were blaming us. They weren't blaming me. They said, okay, well, go and get your money.
In a statement to The Signal, Dalhousie spokesperson Janet Bryson says plans for the rest of the semester are in the process of being communicated to students. Although Dalhousie has extended the withdrawal date until November 25th, they strongly urge students to seek academic advice prior to withdrawing. For The Signal in Halifax, I'm David Schumann.
Cats and dogs are the top choices for pet adoption, but the SPCA wants people to consider getting a bunny.
An adoption can save their lives, literally. The Signal's Crystal Green has the story.
She has lovely ears.
Cute and cuddly, furry critters. Rabbits are the third most adopted pet at the Nova Scotia SPCA. Bunnies are often misunderstood as they need a lot of love and care. Heather Wooden wants to match bunnies, such as this one, with good homes.
Velvet actually came to us as a stray. So she was found outdoors by herself, unfortunately.
This is why you don't dump your rabbits in the woods.
Thousands of domesticated rabbits like Velvet get abandoned outdoors each year, when anywhere from 1,500 to 3,000 rabbits are left outside in mainland Nova Scotia.
A bunny would be considered a prey animal. They are not going to survive or thrive outside.
Wooden asks the public not to leave bunnies outdoors if they cannot keep them anymore. They can be brought to the SPCA or to any rabbit rescue. One of the rabbits surrendered and rescued is Gus, who's part Flemish giant. He is about a year old. Animal lover Gertie Matheson picked him up.
I grew up in the country and I had chickens and cats. I don't think there's a time that I remember where I didn't have pets.
Gus is Matheson's first bunny rabbit. He doesn't need much space to thrive. Every day, Matheson feeds him fresh veggies and fruits like apples.
Something that I didn't know prior was just how much I was going to adore him, I guess. He's my little soulmate. He's perfect. I think that people should just know that there's so much love that comes with it.
But rabbits can multiply fast. A buck and doe can make over 50 babies in 1 year.
These are lifelong pets that can live, 6 to 10 years, and they certainly wouldn't be sort of a pet you would get on a whim sort of thing, because they do require more thoughtful consideration.
Spaying and neutering are included when people adopt through the SPCA, so the numbers of furry friends are kept under control. Crystal Green, The Signal, Halifax.
Tea tastings are attracting visitors to a bar in Halifax's North End.
Owner Adam Scott has built his entire business around Chinese tea culture. Ella, you went down and you had a taste, didn't you?
That's right, Matt. I was there for a tasting of tea brewed using the Gong Fu method. Take a look.
Gong Fu is like, it's like martial art, Kung Fu. It's the same word. So it just means with skill. So if you're gonna like punch someone with skill, it's Kung Fu. If you're gonna make tea with skill, it's Gong Fu.
Yeah, so like right now I'm just kind of heating up the teaware a little bit.
So you take a small vessel and you load the leaves up. You pour hot water over top of the leaves, and you do multiple infusions. And so the idea is that you'll get snapshots of the leaf rehydrating over the course of an hour, 2 hours, or whatever you're brewing the tea for.
This is the first infusion.
And then when you decant the leaves, each time you sip, it'll be a different flavor profile throughout the whole session.
Really, I appreciate knowing the difference now between the flavor profile of the Gong Fu versus just like normal steeping.
My oldest brother went to Korea and he studied there for a year. Then he traveled around into like Myanmar, Southeast Asia area, and so he brought back some tea leaves from Myanmar. And so I had never really witnessed something like that, because our experience with tea over here is very much like you go to the store, you get a box of tea bags, and then you put the tea bag in the cup. A lot of people come in and they think that tea is, for example, a tea bag, or that they love their chamomile tea or whatever. And when I'm speaking of tea, that's not in the same ballpark. It's actually not even the same plant. That's a red flag right there if he's into Earl Grey. Specifically, the tea tasting event is like a private event that we do after hours. So we try to basically, when you come in, give a crash course in what is tea, the history of the culture that evolved out of Gong Fu tea. There's just so much that people don't understand. So now I'm working against that and just trying to completely change people's perceptions on tea and show them what it really is.
Coming up, what this Halifax artist is doing for strangers to gain a big following on social media. That's later on the Video Signal.
Being a student and an artist at the same time is challenging. It's a constant intake of studies and output of art.
An acclaimed local band is no stranger to the struggle. They're managing their rise through the music scene while working hard on studies.
Matt, you caught up with some members of Steel Cut Oats. What did you learn?
Well, Ella, the band has a lot of heart. Pursuing a degree is no small task, especially when you have band practice later in the evening. Have a listen.
I was the one taking the plunge.
Steel Cut Oats, a band that started with friends turning memes into songs. Ideas quickly snowballed, growing into the passion project of these young musicians. As both artists and students climbing through the local music scene, the group has faced their fair share of challenges.
Like especially finding a place to practice and like finding time to practice. There were times when like I shouldn't have said I could go to band practice because I had an exam or something, but I did it anyway.
It's a lot sometimes, but band is extremely important to me. It's a way to sort of decompress after being stressed about work or stressed about school.
The five friends have captivated the ears of local audiences with their blend of indie rock and folk. Their popularity recently earned them the Coast Best New Band/Artist Award. That award was not free, though. It required time and dedication, resources that are in short supply for students. Joe Coakling, the band's guitarist, studies computer engineering at Dalhousie University. He says sometimes he has to choose between doing his schoolwork and playing with the band.
If I'm not ready for a gig and there's an assignment due, then I'll do the mental math of like, all right, assignments are worth 10% of my grade. I'm just gonna cut my losses and focus on music and have an amazing show. and I've never regretted that decision.
Coegling says he plans to get a well-paying job, hopefully in programming, so that he can pursue music on the side.
There's like something kind of pure about doing it for the love of it that I think would change if I had to do it for money. So it is tough to think like, you know, am I gonna end up in like a soul-crushing job?
For now, the band is gearing up for the release of their first EP in December. They recorded it in the Yukon over the summer. Their hopes?
International sensation. That's my hope.
Still, Jank reminds the group that previous Best New Band Award nominees have fallen apart.
And I was thinking about that, I was like, oh man, like, now we gotta stay together.
Yeah.
If you're out in Halifax at a cafe or bar, you may be under the watchful eye of an aspiring local artist.
Max Macaulay sketches strangers across the city. He has gained a significant following on social media, filming their reactions.
Brad Chandler was there this week to find out what made this artist a TikTok sensation.
Yeah, I got a few videos up. I actually draw people and make videos out of it.
Did you take a video of this one?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
yeah, it'd be cool if I put this online or whatever.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Just the idea of making people happy. That's always been the best part. Even if I wasn't being successful with all this, I'd probably still be doing it just for fun. My full name is Maxwell Macaulay. I'm 23. I'm from Halifax, Nova Scotia. I mainly draw people through Halifax, capturing certain moments either at a cafe and or a bar. I go on the bus, be in line somewhere, I just draw whoever or whatever. I didn't really care what I was doing, it was just drawing. But I eventually started drawing people around me. During that time, I'd occasionally give the drawings to people just because, why not? Some people actually like getting the drawings. So I'm just gonna try to make some videos out of it because now I've gotten a little better.
Oh my God, that is so cool.
And just put that up on TikTok, and I think that hit, at the end of like a few months, it hit like 3 million views, and that's where everything boomed kind of after that. If anything, I don't really have a specific subject other than hopefully someone that's either at a bar or cafe or wherever that looks like they're not going to be leaving anytime soon. The only time I really have really negative reviews and or reactions is typically when it's myself being a guy going over to someone being just one girl, and automatically people assume that I'm either hitting on them because I'm a guy and they're just one girl. I think getting out and actually talking with people and making that part of your work is a big win, because then you get to socialize, get to do your art, and enjoy yourself.
Oh, you did such a good job. That's amazing. I love it so much. Wow.
For my drink and draw nights, I'm mainly just looking for, that's just mainly just a social. The part of the drink and draw is just get other people out, either art or non-artists, just to have a chat and just enjoy themselves. I'm doing it for myself, I'm doing it for other people, and if I can make a living, again, making people happy and myself happy, I see nothing wrong with that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Love it.
Cool.
Have a good one.
You too.
Thanks for watching the video signal at the University of King's College School of Journalism, Writing and Publishing. I'm Ella Macdonald.
And I'm Mathieu Hebert. For more news stories, follow The Signal on YouTube and Twitter, or go to signalhfx.ca. See you next week.